guys, I'm Steve.
And I'm Kim.
And today we're going to talk to you about 10 everyday essentials for the prepared home.
Now, these aren't in any kind of order, so please don't think that we think one is better than the other. It's just 10 items that we thought of to share with y'all. Now, the first item on the list is not fishing. It's actually your first aid supplies. You really want to make sure you've got on hand any kind of medication that your family uses regularly. And also a well-stocked first aid kit. Now, yes, I use a tackle box for my first aid kit, mostly because it is really convenient. I love using it because it's all got all these really great little slots so I can organize it. You can ask him, I'm a huge one on organizing. But you could organize anywhere from your gauze to your, sterilization strips or anything like that that you need to use. Now, he's our medic, so he's the one that gets into this most of the time. But I know how to use at least our basic first aid. You've got your Band-Aids and your tweezers for splinters and anything that can happen just in a short-term emergency. Even just every day around the house, we use our first aid kit.
Our next category is going to be lighting and power. And this does not have to be a very expensive project. These two hurricane lamps were picked up at Goodwill of all places for 50 cents a piece. Another great place to pick up hurricane lanterns and older, more stable and well-built preps are auctions and estate sales.
This is mostly just for you're not stumbling around in your home and not being able to find the way. A good thing for kids is a really cheap $1 flashlight. We can pick these up at Walmart. Our kids love them. I got little kids that I babysit as well, and they'll just love playing with them and running the batteries down. Which brings us to the next bit. Good segue there. To the next bit is definitely keeping batteries on hand. Really go over everything that you have in your house. Keep track of how many batteries that you use. You will go through quite a few of them. Okay. Speaking of that, when we're talking about power, is definitely invest in a generator. They're a wonderful thing to have during a power outage. We actually were able to, on the note of things in a nice budget, we picked up our generator at an auction, a state auction that we went to, and we got it for just $100 that we paid for it. Because it was at an auction, there was no taxes or anything like that. It was just, we went in there, paid $100 for. It wasn't in the best shape generator, but we were actually able to take it over to a local small engine repair place and have them do some tune-ups on it and things like that, and it wasn't much at all to get it up and running just perfectly. The third thing we wanted to talk to you about was home safety. Now, one of the things we were just talking about was carbon monoxide is a real issue, especially if you're using propane or an open flame or a fireplace or anything else to heat your home. Carbon monoxide is a real danger, and it really does kill people. Please don't have your generators inside or anything else, but whatever you're using, having a carbon monoxide detector is essential for every home. The next thing, as our former firefighter and current volunteer firefighter loves to make sure we have,
Always, 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 always have a fire extinguisher in your home. Personally, I used to carry one in my vehicle as well. I still do.
Essential.
It is essential. I mean, come on, guys. Grease fire, things go wrong downstairs, electrical. It's also essential to know what kind of fire extinguisher you have and what kind of fire it is to be used with. There you go.
Like most homes, we also have firearms in the home. And I'll let Steve talk about it because that's his baby. He hasn't even touched it.
Know how to use your firearm. Know everything you can about it. Research it before you buy it. Make sure it fits your hand. And then train. I see so many people spending $1,500 to $2,000 on a firearm. Not necessarily a handgun, usually a long gun. And taking it out out to the range and saying, oh, I know how to shoot. If you are going to trust something like this to your home defense, buy a $500 gun and go out and spend $1,500 on training so that you know how to use it, you're competent how to use it, and you know to look for what's behind what you're shooting at. Because your round's not going to stop where you want it to. It's going to stop where the powder decides it's going to stop.
Now, we're lucky that we have a gas stove. And we talked about that a few times in different videos, that even when we had a really bad power outage in our area, our gas stove still worked. Not everybody's that lucky. Not everybody has that ability. And even us, we are understanding the idea that sometimes that gas may not come on one day. So you have to have a backup. And we have these little stoves here, and we're eventually probably going to do a camping stove just because we do like to go camping. And so just for having it to use at those times, it also as a backup to our gas stoves. This one is just a little fold down stove that we came across, and it's perfect for boiling water, heating up, frying some eggs or something like that. Try to stick with pretty simple meals, something that could be cooked on something like this or a camp stove. But if you want to get more elaborate, they've got butane ovens and all kinds of stuff that you can go really extravagant on, depending on how far you want to go. But if you want to keep it simple, either this or a little Esprit stove, or like I said, a camp stove with little propane bottles.
Another essential, for me especially, is a way to make coffee.
The elixir of life.
The elixir of life, you must have caffeine. This is a little cappuccino maker that operates on the same principles as a percolator. Just want to give you a little glimpse inside. The fifth item on our list is keeping warm.
Heating is going to be really essential, especially if we're talking about an ice storm or any kind of power outage during winter time. Luckily here in the South, our temperatures don't get ridiculously cold, but it does get below freezing quite often. And if you're living up in places like Montana or Canada or something like that, where temperatures get sub-zero, then you really need to be thinking about how to heat your home in a great down.
And shout out to our friend Alaskan Prepper. You up there? I'm pretty sure that's colder than Montana and Idaho.
We picked this little heater at Walmart. It was a little bit more on the expensive side. We got one because we have a pretty large area that we're trying to heat, so we tried to get one that heated a large area. But they do have smaller ones for a little bit cheaper prices. This one was regulated as indoor safe, and it just uses these little bottles here. You know, everybody's seen these little propane bottles. And go ahead and double check your weather stripping now when you don't have a problem. Make sure you don't have any drafts coming in. If you do, fix your weather stripping. If it's too late, put a towel or something underneath the door to block any kind of breezes that are coming into the home. You don't want to have to try to compete with the outside temperatures while you're trying to heat your home.
That would bring us to our number 6 item. We don't fit the typical stereotype. She's a welder, fabricator, machinist, lathe operator.
Night shift worker.
And so while she's sleeping during the day, I sneak in and I do laundry and I take care of dishes and other things around the house. So let's discuss this. Tide Pods, great thing. Dishwasher, works wonderful when you've got power, when your water's running, when you're not pulling water out of the rain barrel outside because your water has been shut off because of an E. coli or some other scare. So, liquid detergent. Have some around the house. Even if you think you'll never use it, it's always good to have. Laundry detergent, liquid or powder, will allow you to wash your clothes in the bathtub if you need to.
Number 7 is hygiene. Now, most households run on kind of a phrase that I kind of coined probably today, is an on-demand household. You run out of something, so you run to the store and you go grab it. You know, whether that's toothpaste, soap, toilet paper, or for us ladies, we go once a month, we buy one box of feminine hygiene products, get us through that 1 month, and we don't think about it again until we need it again. If you're thinking about a disaster scenario where you're not going to be able to just run off to the store and get these items, having a few set back is going to be an essential.
Number 8 on our list is a cure for boredom. Many of you will recognize these cards, Conflicted, Deck 1 and 2. You do have your typical traditional Monopoly board games and whatnot. I'm going to do a talk, little video a little while later on role-playing games. But just for a brief overview, role-playing game, you use dice, you write out your character's abilities on a piece of paper, and then one person tells a story, and it's a big game of what if? What would you do in that situation?
Kind of like the old choose your own adventure game.
Very much so. I just have a few samples here, like Monster Hunter International. It's a fun, imagine if every B-movie monster you ever dreamed of was real.
Great book series too, by the way.
Traditional Star Trek, they have their own game. For those of us in this lifestyle, the Morrow Project might actually be something that you'd be interested in. It's a post-apocalyptic world. You wake up and have to survive. So for me, when the power's out and there's nothing to do, I've got kids, they don't have video games, the cell phone's power has died. Hey guys, come sit at the table and let's commune. It works.
Alright, number 9 on our list is don't forget about your four-legged friends. Whatever kind of pets that you have, you want to make sure you have extra feed on hand or any other medications that they might be taking. We have older dogs and they're on medications.
The 10th item on our list is going to be communications. Now, I typically want to start with the cell phone, standard, normal thing. Now, I remember when they were brand new and weighed about the same as 10 bricks. Battery backup, always essential, whether or not you are using one for your cell phone or you have a system that can hook into your car to power these. Now we're going to move into these for a second. Community, let's just take a quick jump at that. For those of us that live in rural areas, why not consider joining a volunteer fire department? They will issue you a radio, give you some training, and the radio is tied into your local emergency management. You have the search and rescue frequencies, you have your fire dispatch frequencies, you have a leg up on everyone else in the area. I love my Baofeng. I love my Baofeng. This is the BFF8 HP. It's a basic model ham radio. 2 meter, 70 cm. But what I really enjoy about these is it also has an AM FM radio for news, and I can program in the NOAA weather radio frequencies. So I've got all of that, plus comms to other ham radio operators in one compact, ready to go setup. And I believe that about covers it. I also want to say before we sign off from this video, jump over and check out NWA Prepper's YouTube channel and Bear Independent. Love you guys.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and if it helps, tell us in the comments below what you liked or what you would add to your essential list. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram.